Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihari.
So, Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavis, please accept my humble obeisances. Vansha kalpatarubhishya, kripa sindhu devasya, patityanam bhavnebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, namo namah.
Anantakoti Vaishnavi.
Jai. So it gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you today on behalf of ISKCON Ministry of Education for a panel discussion in view of Books Are the Basis Week 2024, which will start from September 18, that's Bhadra Purnima onwards. So our theme for our discussion today is how to increase the daily reading of Srila Prabhupada books. All of you are already eminent and well-known preachers in your own field and doesn't need much of an introduction, but a quick introduction for the general masses. So may I take the opportunity to welcome Her Grace Prema Padmini Mataji, who has been a pioneer in the Bhakti Vriksha programs in the Middle East and has written several books on freedom of preaching. And one of the very famous book of Mataji is Free to Preach. I was quite impressed when I heard the name even. So I really wish to read this book really very soon. So I welcome Prema Padmini Mataji. So next we have with us is Her Grace Radhika Kripa Mataji. So Mataji has joined ISKCON in 1999, and since then she has been traveling extensively to preach to several countries, including Pakistan as well. She is a poet and an author to several books, and her several articles have appeared in the Back to Head Godhead magazine in India and internationally as well. And she is quite active on online preaching and book distribution, and also runs a peace food devotional school, various courses and kirtan classes. And she has been doing regular japa sessions in the morning, like 5 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. on Zoom, and from past 1,200 days, and several people join us to chant the holy names in the Brahma Muhurta. So I really welcome Radhika Kripa Mataji here today on the panel.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And now we have Her Grace Amrita Madhavi Devi Dasi Mataji. So Mataji is quite known for preaching in different fields, be it orphanage preaching, be it youth preaching, be it school preaching, preaching to Matajis, be it on Hare Krishna TV channels and local TV channels. So today we are blessed with her presence also. So it's our good fortune to have all of you on this platform together. And really, once again, I'll welcome all of you on board today, and really excited to hear from all of you. So, Hare Krishna. So to break the ice, I'll start with a very basic question, that is, how has Srila Prabhupada Books inspired you in your life? Or how has studying Srila Prabhupada Books personally influenced your spiritual journey and understanding of Krishna consciousness? So we'll start with the Prema Padmini Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Actually, my journey in Krishna consciousness, we started doing it, away from association in the Middle East. And for us, Srila Prabhupada's books was our only association. I depended completely on Srila Prabhupada's books. And so that was my main devotional service and getting all knowledge and everything. So, and every day would be very exciting because I'll come to know new things. And my faith was reinforced because earlier it was just that people said something in the family, religious things you hear, but no reason given. And here Prabhupada gave explanation for everything. And so that really reinforced my faith in religion. Before that, I was spiritually inclined, but I was not so religious in the sense I didn't do so many rituals. But after reading Srila Prabhupada's books, it completely hooked me, got me hooked into spiritual life. And for the first time, I realized I got something of value. Earlier, everything I started, there were constant changes in my life, my father's frequent transfers and all those things. But now I knew that this was something permanent I could look forward to. And it helped me overcome, get more self-control and controlling my mind and so on, tolerance towards other people. And also Prabhupada's books gave me complete desire to preach. I mean, that is what one gets, from reading Srila Prabhupada's books, because his mood is completely of sharing this knowledge with others all the time. The mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strong. So even though we used to come only once a year for on vacation and spend most of our time with all the devotees, but still, the rest of the time we were alone. And I should credit only Prabhupada's books for inspiring me with a desire to preach. And of course, then what are the I think I mean, we were so greedy to read as much as possible. We ordered, I think we have a full library of all of Srila Prabhupada's books. And we would discuss, I had more time to read there because my husband a little less, but still we would always share and discuss. So I can say that Srila Prabhupada's books continue to inspire me even now. That is what is helping me to make advancement in Krishna consciousness by developing more faith. We know that whatever I am today in Krishna consciousness is simply because of Srila Prabhupada and his books. And on a daily basis, we have so many reading and study of the books that keeps me going in Krishna consciousness.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Now I'll ask Radhika Kripa Mataji to please enlighten us how Prabhupada Books inspired her in her life.
Yes, Haribol. Punya Murti Mataji, you have to be a bit louder. I think so. Your voice is breaking, and pata nahi, mera net theek nahi, but aapki voice break ho rahi hai. You just be a bit louder. And okay. Yes, your question is actually, I came to Krishna consciousness. It was listening to Prabhupada's teachings. You know how I reached Vrindavan, 15th May 99. My first encounter with ISKCON was in Vrindavan. I had lost my father in December 22nd, 98. And I was searching. I belong to Sikh faith. I'm from a Sikh religion. I'm a Sikh myself. So I had in our house, it was all very liberal. Everybody was. I would go to temple. Then I was married into a Hindu family. So that was I wanted some answers to my questions the day I lost my father. It was 3:30 a.m. and I lost him. So I was looking for the answers and I wanted who are we, why are we born, and who is God? Three questions I have with me the moment he went away. So I was seeking these answers and I was, it took me 6 months, I was totally engrossed looking for the answers. And I was a businesswoman at that time. I'm a fashion designer. So I had a business of mine. So I was into business and I stopped it. Like it was a halt to it. But I wanted these answers. I was very serious about it. My mother was surprised. My sisters were surprised that why is she taking such a natural process it is. If one person goes away, it's very natural for you that you should now, there's detachment and then Vairagya is there, of course, but then you settle down with your family, you take it up. I had 2 children. I had a nice house, a husband, a very caring husband, 2 nice children. So, but I was very strong in my seeking these answers. I wanted them. I was very determined. So it happened that I was searching there and there, and I was doing so many rituals. I went to a temple in Jaipur, near Jaipur, Sikar, to Hanumanji. I tied a thread there, asking him who God is. Reveal that to me. If you can help me, please reveal it. So it was searching for all this. Once we were on 15th of May, for some reason we were in Vrindavan, we were in Mathura. My husband had some work there to meet someone. So we were there and then that person, we did not meet him. He was not available. And the driver said, I said, okay, you take us somewhere. He said, I'll take you for a sightseeing. I had never been to Vrindavan. So he said, I'll take you to a temple. I said, I want to go a very neat and tidy temple. I don't want to go in a crowd. I don't want to go in a crowd that is, the crowd we understand. In our temple is different, and outside temples it's completely different. Ours is a very organized crowd. So I said, you take me to a temple which is like that. He said, of course, मैं आपको लेकर चलता हूँ, I'll take you. And he brought us to ISKCON. And both of us, me and my husband, we were there for the first time. And then I don't know how someone was there to receive us. I don't know from where that devotee came. And he said, let me take you, come for the first time. I said, yes. He said, let me take you around. And he took us around to Prabhupada's Samadhi first. And he introduced Prabhupada to us there. And then he took us upstairs. The lotus, they were there. And he said, take this Maha Mantra in your hand, the paper he gave me. Read these lines on every lotus. And I did that religiously because I had full faith at that time in what I had. I was seeking the answers, I was completely into it. And then I wanted to find the answers. So he took me around. I did my first japa around there. Then he took me around the deities. Then ultimately he took us around to the Prabhupada quarters. And there was that, when he told me about the Prabhupada books, he told me about Prabhupada, the philosophy. He talks about Bhagavad Gita and what Bhagavad Gita says. And it was to me in Prabhupada quarters, the answers were coming to me. And then there's a long story. We stayed back for the arti, and we got first time on my forehead, I got a tilak from him. I said, I want to put this because he was glorifying the tilak. I said, I want it. And that was the first day I started and he said, Prabhupada said, if you do 16 rounds, you will be out of the cycle of birth and death for guaranteed. And I said, I want to do it. And I started that from the day one there. And it became like, and then I wanted to go deep into the books then, because what he has said, I had heard it and I had become a devotee now. So we came back to Delhi, and then I went to the center near our home. And then I met my spiritual father. And then he said, absorb yourself in Prabhupada books. That message he gave me. He wrote on my, I had a diary with me. I took it to him and I wanted his message for me. And then he said, absorb yourself in Prabhupada books. And I wanted to follow that. And there you can see today where those books have brought us. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji, for enlightening us with your own experience. And I really got transported to Vrindavan hearing your passion. So now I request Amrita Madhavi Devi Dasi Mataji to please share their experience.
Yes, I would like just tell the book reading part of it. How was it in the beginning and how is it now? In the beginning, I came to Krishna consciousness because of the beauty of Mayapur deities in the Mangalarti time and because of the Kirtans. I was a very good listener and I was very talkative. But reading, sorry, that was not my interest. That was not my cup of tea. And so when I became serious was after I became married, I became a wife, and I was looking for ISKCON. After seeing Mayapur in my teenage, then I was waiting for Mayapur everywhere, in every ISKCON center. And then when I saw in Mayapur, in UAE, there was a center, where we could associate. And then from Damodar Desh, I shifted to Shamadesh, and there the Shamadesh leaders who were my mentors, they told me to join Bhakti Shastri course. So because of that, because of the exams, they convinced me that I could do with a baby. And my baby was just 1.5 years old, and I started Bhakti Shastri course. And at that time, I started reading Prabhupada books. I loved hearing Nectar of Instruction. I loved Bhagavad Gita. From VIHE, we were doing a course, and I loved all the teachers' classes. And I started preaching on the second day. First day I heard, second day I went and shared it with my Christian and Muslim and Hindu colleagues, whatever I heard, like that, So my daughter was too small to share, so I would look for people to share. It was so exciting. But reading books, they would tell us to read and come, so I would read and come. I didn't find much pleasure, but as much as in hearing and in speaking about it. But it so happened that all my mentors gave me training from Prabhupada books that we must chant nicely. Whatever I was taught was from Prabhupada books that serve the devotees nicely, hear nicely, and read nicely. I started reading. And I read and read, and I reached to 7th canto, and then it paused. When my daughter's education became the most important, it paused. And then now, when she did her Bhakti Shastri, my daughter did Bhakti Shastri, and then when I was thinking, now I will do Bhakti Vaibhav because my Guru Maharaj wants it. And now, after so many years of devotional service, of chanting, of preaching, of hearing, and of reading also, but now when I hear the lectures, I feel that's all what I want in my life. And here I came to India back, and I came only with the desire of preaching. And when I got a chance to preach on TV channels here, then I realized that I need to read more, not just hearing. I need to read. I need to know what Prabhupada wants. I need to live it. And when I started reading Prabhupada books, and now I have come to a position where I'm begging devotees from last 1 year, please bless me. I'm not getting enough time on a daily basis to read, because now I understood reading makes my consciousness transcendental. Reading makes my consciousness crystal clear. Reading makes me develop sweet relationships, because reading inspires me to live it. And when I do that, all I want to do is actually reading. And this is honest, because in Bhakti Vaibhava courses, I have been, when I get a chance to talk, I have been begging devotees for blessings so that I may read daily. I may read, and I started begging, may I read 1 chapter a day? And once I started doing that, then now I'm getting this chance to speak about reading. So this is where, means I now understood that reading alone is what I want to become and grow more seriously as a devotee. Yes, hearing, hearing first, reading next. Shravana, then Patana. Shravana and Patana. And then, and then that makes me live a happy life. And that, a consequence of that is now my preaching. Before, hear, preach. Now, hear, read, understand, experience, and side by side keep preaching. This is how my reading has brought me, dear Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing your experience. So just to summarize what I get from this is that the Prabhupada books are the ultimate source. So the 4 points which mainly I got from all of the discussions happening here is, first is scriptural foundation. So reading Srila Prabhupada books, because Prabhupada will quote from all the scriptures around in his books. So it really helps to get hooked up and have faith in our religious, and scriptural practices. And then is the purity of teaching and the transformative power. So all of us have seen that how, we would have read other books also, but, Srila Prabhupada books has the power to transform, because they have been written with so much, purity. And then they are comprehensive. There is some instructions for everyone. Somebody's looking for peace, somebody's looking for some answers, so they have all the answers. So as a mother's milk is a comprehensive and a complete nourishment in itself for, to grow in life. So as Srila Prabhupada books are the complete nourishment for all of us to grow in our Krishna consciousness. So this is what the message I'm getting from the, all of the discussion that has happened right now. So my next question was, why is it important for women, especially in ISKCON, to cultivate a habit of studying holy scriptures, and particularly Srila Prabhupada books, which all of you have covered some points in your discussions already. So I will move on to the next, which is, what are some current practices or initiatives within ISKCON to encourage reading Srila Prabhupada books for everyone, and especially for the women also, if you are really following some practices in your own temples or preaching areas. So I would like you to throw some light on it, that what are the initiatives are being taken. So Prema Padmini Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I would partially also answer your the previous question, that why is it important for women, as in particular, to read Srila Prabhupada's books? Because most women find the rituals easy, the bhakti process, the process of external processes come easy to Matajis. They like to chant and they like to sing. They like to do services, make garlands, cook, and all that. Those things, they, all the activities, they easily imbibe. But And their heart also, they get attracted to deity worship, everything. But because unless they reach Srila Prabhupada's books, the mind will not be controlled. So even externally you're doing services, mind will not be focused. And for that we need the philosophy part. And once Matajis read the Srila Prabhupada's books, amazing transformation happens. And I've seen that. And you asked me what are the their spiritual standards increase, their desire to preach increases, they learn how to apply the principles in their day-to-day life. And foremost of this is because reading is a habit, very difficult for most people, because even if they really sincerely want to read, something or the other comes up. And then with children and other activities, many of them may be married, may be working also and married and so on. And that is why the best way to make people read every day is to have group reading. I first started with many years back with ladies in the morning time in the Gulf, said let's all meet and read Srimad Bhagavatam and other books also, but especially we started with Bhagavatam. And believe me, they were all already chanting 16 rounds and initiated devotees like that. And before that, they were not so focused on, doing services services in the serious services, preaching, taking responsibilities and so on. But ever since, they would actually, we only had it once a week that time. And even that, they were really looking forward to it. They'll have so many questions and there was a big transformation happening. And many of them became they volunteered to also preach, take classes for children, for ladies, and be more active in starting Bhakti Vrikshas. So I realized what a powerful thing it is to read. And of late, what we do is for all girls and boys and women and men, everyone, we have day to day. Now with the internet, you don't even have to physically meet in order to study the books. So we have 30 minutes of reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Smaller books for new people and for serious people, all the other Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita and other books. And people, because the advantage is that they may be also doing some other activities. It's okay. We said, okay, even if you're cooking or you're eating or getting ready to go to bed or whatever, it doesn't matter here. That makes it because of this flexible thing, and they don't even switch on their videos. So because they may be doing something, but the habit is ingrained in them and they have got hooked to it. If one day the class is not there, they will all ask why there is no class. So that is the way, and only 30 minutes, because 1 hour is too much to expect busy people to spare. But the 30 minutes stretches to 1 hour because they'll keep asking questions. And the leader has to take excuses. Please, it's getting late. I have to go to sleep. So that is how Prabhupada's books are very, very, intoxicating. They attract the people. If you discuss it alone to read, people may not have that much, motivation. But especially, and if they are counseled, Matajis, and encouraged, mentored, and say, come join it, and really, it'll help you in so many ways, because people have so many emotional challenges, so many problems they face. And then when you read Srila Prabhupada's books and you discuss practically how by surrendering to Krishna and how by, giving the right priorities in life and so on, how not to be disturbed. And then they see that it solves their problems in their day-to-day lives. And so they are fully convinced. It helps them to make advancement in surrendering, practically to Krishna. And of course, they want to share it. They're ready to preach and very enthusiastic about devotional service. So it is like a tonic, and it's not only tonic, it's the basic nutrient of our spiritual life. And definitely everyone should be encouraged to do that. And you can see amazing results. And Mataji's also, They can, people underestimate. They think that they don't know the full potential of Matajis. They are 50% of the population. And believe me, you hear their realizations and people will be astounded. What all? I mean, they don't know. Because in the interactive, I mean, when we read, we also have discussions. They can ask questions, they can express their views and what they feel and so on. And everybody will be surprised about the depth of understanding and realization, sincerity. And that, definitely this reading brings about. And we are 50% of the population, even within ISKCON. And just imagine if all the Matajis become so serious. They already like worshipping the deities and doing services and all that. But with knowledge, with controlling of the mind, no material desires, not unmotivated devotional service, if they practice, then imagine what is the Shakti, Sri Shakti we're going to experience within ISKCON.
Really, Mataji, that was quite impressive. So, Radhika Kripa Mataji, I would like to know from you that, I totally agree from whatever Mataji has said. So, why we have kind of, less, now we have more preachers. So why, we had less women preachers or leaders earlier. So this could be one of the reasons. What do you say about it?
Once I was asked by Guru Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he asked me to speak at there was an auditorium, there was a big program, some political leaders, they had organized something, a woman leader. And that was on the empowerment of women. So they wanted that feminists, their rights should be given to them and all. And then my Guru Maharaj said, you go and speak. And they want a spiritual speaker to speak first. So when I went and I speak, it's like I'm talking about 15 years or 17 years back, So when I went and I told them, as Mataji said, there's three Shakti. I said, what are you looking for? We are already empowered. We don't have to get any empowerment from outside, We are already empowered. So Krishna is the supreme, but he's under the control again of feminine, that is Radharani. So why do we need any empowerment? As she said rightly, Prema Padmini Mataji, as she said rightly, that's right. Women are more committed, women are more emotional, so they get more connected and they are more determined also. They are very committed. So in the morning sessions, like we have a 5 a.m. chanting sessions, we have few men, but more of women joining in. 75% are women. And they're working women. It's not that they're not working. They work outside. They're taking care. Some have actually become a widow even during the, COVID times with a small child, a little girl she has in our group. She became so committed that she is taking care of her, all the household chores. She's taking care as a father would also do, like for all her day-to-day, all the everything, the working, the financial part of her family also, she's taking care, the emotional part she's taking, because she says, I have become strong because of this, because of chanting sessions, because of reading Prabhupada books, distributing Prabhupada books. That has empowered her. And her services have become very committed. She would go for Janmashtami services to the temple. She's become initiated as well now. She would go there and she's become so committed. So we have many like her in our group, those who really have become, and there are more women. Often my Guru Maharaj would say, Radhika Kripa, if I had 10 like you, it would be wonderful. I said, don't worry, Guru Maharaj, you will get hundreds like me. Don't worry. So this is what we want. I remember when Prema Padmini Mataji came to Punjabi Bagh, and that is long, long time back, when she was launching her these sessions of Bhakti Vriksha. And my Guru Maharaj said, you be with her. Go and I received her in the Punjabi Bagh temple. I remember sitting with her when she was giving the lecture there. I sat next to her. So I was actually taking care of her, and then she was there in the temple for some time. So it is that Guru Maharaj always wanted. And I've been very fortunate to have the blessings of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj even. And because I must be the only female in India, northern India, who would have driven Maharaj from airport to 1 hour drive. I drove him in the car. He sat next to me. And then I drove him to his disciples' home where he was received well. And then he had to take a flight from here. He had a connecting flight from Delhi. He was coming from somewhere after the meetings. And that was the year 2007. I had written a book, Vaishnav Teachings in Sikhism, my first book in Vaishnavism and Sikhism. And he called me in the middle of the night to ask. It was 11:30. Madhav Kanta called me. Mataji, Guru Maharaj would like to speak to you. And then Maharaj said, how many books, Radhika Kripa, I've heard you've written a book? you've become a scholar now. I said, no, Maharaj, I'm not any scholar. And he said, how many books you can give me? I said, as many as you want. He said, see me at the airport. And as you know, my husband, he makes the temples, he made the Rohini temple, the latest one in Delhi. The last Delhi, the 5 temples in Delhi which have come up, Badshahpur, Faridabad, and then Rohini, and the main temple here in Bahadurgarh. So he has made them. So he's the interior and the architect for the interior designer. So it is there, the books actually make you very strong. They give you the power, they empower you. Because when you have evidence with you, because Krishna says that whom I do like, those who do devotional service on the basis of the scriptural knowledge. So that is how we become strong, And then we have the evidence. We have that Shastra. The Shastra become our Shastra, When we go out in the world to preach, that becomes our Shastra. So if anybody comes over, we can defy them. And I have actually because of writing this book, the 2 religions, bringing them together, bridging them up, that gives me more empowerment. Somebody asked me that, why was the need for you to write this book? Of course, it was written by my Guru Maharaj ordered me. He kept on ordering me, write this book, write a book. But then studying these books, studying the scriptures of Srila Prabhupada, and simultaneously I had read the Granth Sahib when I was a kid, I was reading, my mother had put me into a habit of reading that. Every day in the morning, she would get up at 3:30 and do the Granth Sahib part. And she had told me also that you should do a little bit of it every day. So in the morning at 6 a.m., it was my routine before going to school. When I get up, after taking shower, I would read a little part of the Granth Sahib and then go for the proceed to the school. And before going to bed, she had made me that I should read a little part and then go to bed. And that was my habit. Whether I go to a 9 to 12 night show movie, even when I come back, I would read Granth Sahib a little bit and then go to sleep. So reading was put into my blood by her. And then when I came to ISKCON, it was again Guru Maharaj, my spiritual father. He encouraged that I should read because the day one he said, I want you to preach. I said, I'm not perfect, Maharaj. I was not initiated even at that time. He said, I want you to preach. And then he said, you will become perfect one day, but you just get absorbed in these scriptures. And I did as he wanted me to. And then I kept on, he said, keep on writing books. So writing books, then I realized that yes, if you keep on writing books, you are deeply into the scriptures back again the whole year. Every moment you're into the scriptures. Because I write the same verses, from the Granth Sahib and the Gita together. I put them together before the world. So he wanted me to do that. And that has actually made me strong in my bhakti and made me strong in preaching. Because what goes in comes out. So what goes in, I have to give it out to the world. So the people, they come over and they ask the questions. And often in our family, I am from a Sikh family married into a Hindu Punjabi family. So it is like that. Back at my home, in my mother's place, at my father's home, they are all Sikhs, So when I go there with a tilak and kanthimala, they would ask so many questions. So I had to pacify them from the Granth Sahib. And when I am in my in-laws' family, they are all Hindus. And they would also question it. It's not they won't question. They also question, there's no need for such a big tilak, it's a show off. Why do you want to wear a kanthimala? There's nothing to show off about it. It's very private, why are you doing this? Then I would preach them from the Gita. So it became with me, both the sides, I had to make a bridge for them and let them know what Prabhupada is saying. So that is what the women are actually become committed, strong. Women are committed more than men. Men may actually dwindle away in the morning, 5 a.m. They may be hesitant sometimes to join in. They would be late. But the women would never. Because I remember when I joined in, my Guru Maharaj said, Mangal Aarti is not optional. And I would go every day to the temple for the last so many years. I made it a routine to go to the temple every day with my kids when they were young even. I would go. My husband would go or not, but I would drive down to the temple for Mangal Aarti. Sometimes 1 hour drive to big temple where Guru Maharaj would be doing the Aarti. So I became very committed until they touch wood. It's Krishna's and Guru Maharaj's mercy that I don't leave the Mangal Aarti because Guru Maharaj says it's not optional. So these things, come over there from the books only. The scriptures say that. Because I had learned in the Granth Sahib even, I'd seen my mother getting up at 3:30 in the morning. I used to tell her, why you get up so early? you can get up late. But then when I came to ISKCON, I realized that she is perfectly right what she was doing throughout her life. I've just recently written a book, Death the Unstoppable. And in that I've given all the quotes from the Granth Sahib, the Gita and the Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita and Prabhupada lectures even, together with it. And I have narrated how my mother passed away, how my father passed away, how my father-in-law passed away when we were in ISKCON, how it affected them, our coming to ISKCON, how it brought their ends, the last breath of their lives. It became so easy for them to transfer from this world, So that was how this Krishna consciousness affects the whole family. If a woman becomes a devotee, the whole family can become a devotee.
Yes.
So that is absolutely true. So that's why I tell all the women in my, when they join me, and they have really become so empowered that the whole family actually listens to them now. Whether it's their husbands or their children, they listen to their mother. They would tell her, you please pray for us. She's become the role model in the family now. So as Mataji said, it's perfectly right. The Istri, actually, it's very important for the ladies to become devotees. If a husband becomes a devotee, there may be some, we say, kalesh hoga ghar mein. They will have fights and they will have bitter fights. If a woman doesn't become a devotee and the man is a devotee. But if a woman becomes a devotee, she has all the art, how to convince her husband. And she can make him a devotee. And that's what Prabhupada meant when he said the Vaishnavis are actually, they are not women. They are above they are not the other kind of women, which we talk in the Prabhupada lectures and Prabhupada purports we have read about. And people speak against that how come Prabhupada can speak about women like that? But he meant those women who are not into Krishna consciousness. We can see in the world that how they want to tantalize others, how they want to actually attract others. They want to be a center of attraction. But when you're a devotee, you have a different perspective. Your perspective changes and people will appreciate you. They will respect you. So that's what it is. Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada Books brings Krishna consciousness, and that brings in along with it that you become a strong woman. You become a strong pillar in the family. Your husband will also be nice. He will be kind. Everything, because you have become a nice human being. So, of course, everything is going to be put into place. So that is important for women these days. If they join in Krishna consciousness, they are really going to be a blessing for the whole family, for the coming generations, for everybody. Women are strong. I think so. I've taken a lot of time. Let's go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for highlighting the importance of women taking a role family-wise or in the society also, and being as a mother, that what is their role or how important for them is to become Krishna consciousness, read Srila Prabhupada books, getting empowered yourself and then empowering whole of the society. I would say it's just not limited to the family or community, but to whole of the society and the humankind. So thank you so much, Mataji, for your words. And then to Amrita Madhavi Devi Dasi Mataji. Mataji, as Prema Padmini Mataji was mentioning that group reading is important. That's how she has been, trying to inculcate that habit so that women also take up. So I really want to ask you if there are any, other things, or are you doing something of that sort to encourage women and, others to read?
Yeah, very nice question. Yeah, group reading we are doing, but not on a regular basis because women have their problems in attending. But that does not mean I should stop my reading. So I read myself because I'm not reading with my intelligence. I'm reading with my teacher's intelligence. First, I've heard in Bhakti Vaibhava course, the entire list of chapters. In 3 months, we're covering around 10 chapters. So I've heard it and then I'm sitting and reading it. Now I have a time-tight situation. We have exams to write. So I am forced to complete the reading. So I sit at a stretch for 12 hours, 13 hours. Like that, I stitch around 10 plus hours when I sit most of the days. And then I try to cover before the exam everything. And that actually has given so much of feeling that books are, like you said, mother's milk. for us who are babies in Krishna consciousness. It is so much nourishing, and that is exactly what we want. So this is what I have understood. So what I do is whatever I read yesterday, today I go and share it. This is what I decided recently, because I told you that when I started reading one chapter a day, this opportunity to speak has come. It's like Krishna is saying, yes, now you're reading so much and you really want to read, then tell why you want to read. What are the problems you encountered and how you came across over it, and now you really want to read. How? This is what I felt, and so I accepted this opportunity with gratitude, because now I'm reading at a stretch and then understanding, and during cooking, cleaning time, I'll be meditating. Whatever I read, I should not forget, because what we read in the previous chapter, we forget in the next chapter. That was my past situation. Now I don't want to forget. So whatever I read, and from our teacher, Gaurav Darshan Prabhu's book, Studying Shastras, so from that I learned that there's a technique to keep reading, that is, first you hear, and then you do, that is Shravan, then you do Patana, read the books, after hearing, understanding, with that correct perspective, you read it. And after reading, you try to remember it. And that's what I do while washing vessels, while folding clothes, while drying, while sweeping, while mopping. I just keep recollecting what I have learned and read in the books, and try to by heart, so that I don't forget what to apply. And then when opportunity comes, I apply whatever. That is called Nididhyasana, Shravana, Patana, Smarana, Nididhyasana, and lastly, as a consequence of these 4 stages, should be Kirtana. Kirtana is like when you start teaching a subject, you learn it even more. So it's a part of our serious learning, serious reading of Srila Prabhupada books. So as a consequence of that, now I'm repeating what I, because I recently started reading one chapter. So from 5th canto, I started soon after morning japa. I do online on Facebook most of the days. And then after that, I give a small summary of what I learned in the previous day. And, so this is how I am trying to make people go down into the books and read. And I tell them that if I didn't do any class on those days, please read whatever I have been covering. Like that, I tell them. This is how I encourage on Facebook openly to anybody and everybody from all parts of the world to read. I read, I share the nectar points which are beneficial for all kinds of people who might come on Facebook. And then I tell them to read like that. This is how I am reading. And my friends are there from Bhakti Vaibhava course. They join me sometimes. My daughter is there. She and I sit and read. But when it is not possible, when they have their duties, then I read on my own.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Radhika Kripa Mataji, I wanted to ask you, are there, as Prema Padmini Mataji said, reading groups they have made and they are reading. So are you also doing some sort of these activities?
Yes. When we started, actually, Guru Maharaj told me to travel, become an international preacher. So since 2007, I've been traveling half the world every year, And then during the COVID times, it became more serious study. Because I was earlier reading myself, and as I was a traveling preacher, so I was not connected to one main temple. I was everywhere. So I had no one group, It was all over the world. I had many groups. So, and there was no Zoom at that time. So nothing like only we had Skype, and Skype was very tedious to get into it. So it was like when I travel, I would meet the group and I would be with them. So it would be that would be once a year or twice a year if I'm traveling to the same country, same city. So, but then when the COVID came up in 2020, I had just landed back from Abu Dhabi and London, and from a preaching trip from there. And I had just landed back, and the lockdown came up. And when I was at home, it was in the March, and I was thinking what to do now. And people were very scared. I could see everybody was so scared, and they were, of course, the devotees were not. We were not, because we were chanting and reading. For us, it was okay. We have now great time to chant and read more, But then people were very scared. I could sense that out. Everybody was talking of death. What will happen now? We will die and all that. And so I took the courage, It was very courageous that I went online, I just opened the camera, opened my laptop and sat before it and started speaking, gazing into the camera. And I was not used to it. I was used to going on live, but from I went to Karachi and Pakistan, I had in 20 days, I had 40 lectures. So I would go live from there for all over the world to see how the Karachi devotees are taking in and how we are doing it in Pakistan. So that was there. And wherever I was there, I would go live not for a great time, But now I wanted to go live because Prabhupada has trained us so much. From the books we have learned so much. So I wanted to give it to the world. And then I wanted to use this technology now, internet. And then I went up, and first time when I went live, I could see there was 600, 700 people who joined in to watch their sessions. And they have so many questions with them. They would talk to me. And I was on 2 to 3 hours hooked on the internet, giving them the answers, and giving them the replies. And then every day it became, they said, we want you to come in the evening. Everybody was free, and they said, we want you to come in the evenings also. So we created a rapport. It became like I would read their names. I would now know every day who all are coming. So every day reading their names, it was like I became acquainted. I became their household name, They said, we put you on a large TV and the whole family watches you. So it was a very good that I was entering so many houses at the same time, And then I would speak to my Guru Maharaj, and he has been my instructing master, Shiksha Guru as well, and Diksha Guru. So Guru Maharaj was so kind to me, and I would call him up and report it to him. That was my habit since I started preaching day one in 2000. So I would call him up and tell him that what happened, like a small child who reports to a father, today so many people came, this happened, that happened. Then I was telling him, Maharaj, this is happening. So many people, they come up and they have so many queries and there are so many doubts they have. And he said, it's very good, Radhika Kripa, keep on doing it. And I just kept on doing it. And I would started, then in the morning, I would do one session. Then I started with 30 minutes with Srila Prabhupada. First, it was like 15 minutes with Prabhupada. Then I came to 30 minutes. So first we started with 15 minutes with Srila Prabhupada. I started the Leela Amrit, Prabhupada Leela Amrit. I wanted them to know who Prabhupada is because they would question me who Prabhupada is. We were saying all glories to Srila Prabhupada and they wouldn't understand that. They were all new, they didn't know anything about ISKCON. Those who joined in, they wanted to learn how to chant. They wanted to learn the tilak, how I put, what do I do the whole day? How do I offer boga and all? They wanted to learn everything. So they wanted to know who Prabhupada is. So I did 15 minutes with Srila Prabhupada. And I started with Prabhupada Leela Amrit. And they would come over and I would read from Prabhupada Leela Amrit. Till date, we do it. This has been more than 1,200 days. On record, it is 1,200 officially. Otherwise, it's more than that. So we still, every day morning, we read 2 pages of Prabhupada Leela Amrit all together with 80 people in the morning. 30-40 on the Zoom and 30-40 on the YouTube, my channel. So they all come over and we read Prabhupada. It's a must. To do the 8 rounds of chanting in our group, we did, and no cameras off. All cameras should be on while chanting and while whole morning program. So if they want to switch off the cameras, they can go to YouTube. But on the Zoom, all cameras on. And we chant 8 rounds and then we do Guru Ashtakam we show the temple, Mangalarti going on. We do Guru Ashtakam with them and then Tulsi Arti. So one person sings the Tulsi Arti, one person maybe from Chennai, maybe from Hyderabad, maybe from Mauritius, he would sing. And one person would perform Tulsi Arti and from Jaipur or any part of the world, she may be or he may be. So likewise, we have Tulsi Arti. After Tulsi Arti, I do Shikshashtakam. And then we discuss one verse of Shikshashtakam every day. And then after that, we go to the quote of Srila Prabhupada. What did he say on this particular date? And then we do one quote from our Guru Maharaj. And then we come to the book as we are doing the marathon. So Guru Maharaj told me in 2020, when the lockdown was there, so he called me up and he said, now you have to do the Bhadra Purnima marathon online. And it was the first time marathon was introduced. Bhagavatam marathon was introduced in 2020 in India. And he said, your target is, Radhika Kripa, 1,000 Bhagavatam sets this year. And you wouldn't believe it. We did 425 Bhagavatam sets that year with 6,000 Bhagavad Gitas. But, and then coming year 2021, we did 525 Bhagavatam sets with 15,000 Bhagavad Gitas. And the 2023, then came 2022, we did 626 Bhagavatam sets with 18,000 Bhagavad Gitas. Last year, we did 565 Bhagavatam sets with 20,500 Bhagavad Gita. And this year, till now, we have done 700 Bhagavatam sets. Till 18th, let's see how many more we can do. But our target is still, we haven't reached, it's 1,000 in one go. Guru Maharaj has given me that target. I know now why did he give that? Because whole life I would be meditating on that. When will that year come? We will be doing 1,000 in 1 month. So we have done 700 and Bhagavad Gita marathon. When it comes up, let's see how our group will do it. So where does they are getting all this Shakti from, from all this, what we do in the morning program. They all tell me that this morning program gives us the energy. That is the charging bank. I just charge them in the morning with Prabhupada quote on book distribution. What did he say? Then the Prabhupada Leela Amrit and all the difficulties Prabhupada went through, they have all lived with Prabhupada now through the Leela Amrit. They wait to read the Leela Amrit with me to know that how Prabhupada really went through all those hardships. All these young boys, those who are sannyasis now. So they are reading about Giriraj Maharaj, they read about Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So they just see that how everything has happened. This is so, it's the miracle that has happened before the eyes, So this is just a 50-year back they have to go in history, not very back, like 5,000 years back or more than that. It's just a 50 years back. So this is happening and this is what the Shastras are. So Prabhupada has really strengthened everybody, including, of course, if we are preaching, that's again the empowerment of the Guru, It's without the Guru's empowerment, how can we? Without the Guru Parampara, how could we? So I have not done anything. I have not accomplished anything. I know I have no qualification to do this. It's only Guru Maharaj and it's the Guru Parampara that has empowered. That's Srila Prabhupada who has empowered us. So that's why the whole group even, they love to do, I do many courses with them. Like the Bhagavatam marathon, how does it is actually, how one is able to do so many books. I have to just tell them and they go ahead and do it. There is one Mataji from Bombay, she's reaching 100. It's only to her credit, 100 Bhagavatam sets. She's reached 90 plus. Soon she will be doing more to reach 100. And there are many like 70, 80, 50. They are all women. And there are men also, those who have done 50, 55, 60 Bhagavatam sets. So they are empowered by Srila Prabhupada and they go out and talk to others. And then they bring in the results. So this is how this is possible, only by reading the Bhagavatam. Because when they preach to someone, they got to know what they're telling others. So I did courses of Bhagavatam with them. I have completed the first canto, second canto, third canto part 1. Now we are doing third canto part 2. Like Devahuti and Khardam Muni, that is going on. And every weekend we have these sessions on Zoom. We have Chaitanya Charitamrita session that will be happening today evening. They are strictly on Zoom. They have to come through enrollment. Without enrollment, no entry. Because I want them to be serious about the studies. It's not just haphazard study. We are not commercial speakers like haphazardly we will be giving them what they want. We give them what is right, what we have got. So if they want to be empowered, if they want to advance in bhakti, they have to go through the process. So that's what I'm training them. And even Jayapataka Maharaj was very happy. I just met him last year. I was in Mayapur. I went to take his darshan. And I was telling him, Maharaj, you remember me? And then he said, take off your mask. And then just I removed it. And he said, oh, yes, of course, why not? And he was so happy. So I have been... this year, Radhanath Maharaj was here for Guru Maharaj Vyasa Puja. So he offered my book to Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj was in March. I told Guru Maharaj, I'm writing another book. He said, Radhika Kripa, what is the title of your book? I said, it's Death the Unstoppable. And Guru Maharaj said, it's a very beautiful title, very nice title. So I was fortunate that Radhanath Maharaj was here, but we were all very sad and in grief because Guru Maharaj was not present physically. But yes, his God brothers are non-different to him. So we are blessed to be actually with their mercy. So this is how it is with me. And it's my little life story that how I am. Actually, one thing is if you are not committed, if you're not determined, then nothing can happen. You have to be committed. You have to give your life and soul. That's very important. Unless you give your life and soul, you cannot. In material world also, you cannot attain the results. What are you seeking for? The success, material success. You have to toil for it. You have to give hard work. So why not give this life for spirituality, for Krishna consciousness? We have only one lifetime. So take the risk for this. This is sure shot because I give quotes from the Granth Sahib and the Gita together. So it convinces us because it convinced me. That's how I got convinced. So I was reading, I had read the Granth Sahib and I read Prabhupada. So it was like Prabhupada is speaking the same. So often my Guru Maharaj would say somewhere, if he would take me, I would be sitting there, he would say, you speak few lines. So I would just say one thing. What I learned in the Granth Sahib, I'm practicing in ISKCON. You have to practice. And for practicing, this is the best forum, the best purified place, That is how Prabhupada has made it. Prabhupada has made ISKCON, I would say, the most purified organization where everybody is given a chance equally, even the women, the Vaishnavis. So I think so. I've again taken a lot of your time.
No, Mataji, thank you so much for, bringing in so many insights. The question which I would be asking, you have already answered them. So it's okay. But the thing is, I'm getting few insights like, technology, as Prabhupada will use technology, to spread the Krishna consciousness. So this is, again, a reinforcement that now we don't have to carry all the books in our hand. Everything is, so many apps are there, Veda base is there. So if we actually want to read, so we really doesn't have to go to a library or something. It's readily available. But we would have to learn how to make the best use of the technology available. As you said, Zoom sessions and, YouTube lectures, everything is just present and it's so convenient. But then, again, when you go to YouTube, then there could be many distractions also. So we would have to, take care of that part also and utilize the technology in the best way it is. And you have answered that, how ISKCON can empower women to take up some more prominent leadership roles. First, you read the Shastras, you equip yourself, and then you try to, spread the message and, equip others also to carry forward that message. Because unless you yourself is equipped, there is nothing really going to move ahead. So Prema Padmini Mataji, as in we talked about the group reading, etc. So are there any more specific mentorship programs or support structures, especially for the women to, train them or groom them for taking up some leadership positions?
Yes, the Bhakti Vriksha program is very, very empowering because women go through, first of all, they're trained systematically so that their sadhana is, following strict standards. They follow all Prabhupada's, method of performing sadhana. And also about reading books and also in preaching and so on. And they are also empowered to do all this. So it is actually a lot of training and they become Siksha Gurus. You see, if they start a program, they again have to train people like that very quickly. It's not that, okay, they got it and then they are satisfied. They have to train others the same way that they got training. And then those people trained under them again have to start. So what happens is they are doing the rule of Shiksha Gurus for their Guru. Of course, not on that platform, on the absolute platform like that Shiksha Guru, but you have levels of Shiksha Gurus. And as they are progressing in preaching, then what happens is they are advancing. You must listen to some of the Matajis who've been preaching for many years, who are taking care of hundreds of ladies, hundreds of people, grihasthas, very powerful. And so easily they are doing leadership roles in training other people to become devotees, giving lectures, training them to take initiation and making them attend Bhakti Shastri and other courses. And one thing we saw, when a person goes through Bhakti Vriksha, because it is just studying Prabhupada's books very systematically. The course itself is like that. We take different topics which we need to know in the basics of Krishna consciousness, all from Srila Prabhupada's books. And there are questions to guide the discussion and so on. So what happens is then they get a basic understanding. They are able to answer questions. And then, so they become more serious, and then they start doing, once they've reached a particular level, we say that once you have your Bhakti Vriksha has multiplied, you do a Bhakti Vriksha, you start one, and when your Bhakti Vriksha has multiplied, then you do Bhakti Shastri course. So that, there is enough experience for you to understand the Shastra, and you'll be able to apply it also. Otherwise, it might become just theory and you may not understand it deeply. So this is the pattern we set, and reading the Bhakti Shastri, they are able to understand and do very well in Bhakti Shastri, get very good marks. All this just within a few years, because you are training them and making them do whatever Prabhupada has said in his books. It is exactly what the methodology that he followed when he went to New York, and he started that in the matchless gifts, and the new boys and girls were coming, and Prabhupada gave them a lot of love and affection and training. I mean, because there were no books at that time, so he was speaking, and then he would empower them. He would say, now you go start. He even sent them separately to different states or countries. And in this way, they made rapid advancement. Prabhupada said, this is the method of spiritual empowerment. It's not that you have to finish the course completely and then you'll be appointed, but some basic knowledge you have, and then you'll be put in the post, and then you grow with that. So this is what happens. And your question was about what are all the different methods for training women, isn't it? So this, it gives women so much freedom to preach, because the thing is that it is not like every day you have to do Bhakti Vriksha. One day in a week you teach them, and then there are other days to call them up. You have to care for them and find out how they are doing and what are the problems they are facing. It's like a motherhood, like a mother. So they are really doing the role of a very caring Shiksha Guru, who's not just giving knowledge, but who's also following up to find out what are the problems, what are the challenges they have. So in this way, very close relationships develop. So really they are being trained for spiritual leadership, not just to give lectures, but to enter into people's lives and develop the trust. They gain the trust of the people. And so they are ready to open up, and then they are undergoing ongoing training. It's not that just 1 or 2 years of study and training and then you can face all these things. They're also undergoing training, how to counsel, or they take the problems which they can't handle to the seniors. So it is a support system. And so the women, they actually sometimes, many of the group, this thing is between husband and wife together. So that goes very well also, because it's like a father and a mother. So, people consider them the devotees. The new members, they think, okay, we have father and mother. And so the nurturing part comes very easily to women. They like to, they are very sincere in helping people and finding a listening. They have the patience, right? And they want to help very much. Like a mother. So this is what it, in the Bhakti Vriksha, we see a very good, important role and position for women, acknowledged and respected, and they can do as much as they want. There is complete freedom. They can talk to as many people, as they can do as many groups, they can preach to whatever they want. It is available. The whole society is there for you. And they can do anything. Many of the Bhakti Vriksha leaders have been invited by the yatras, the temples and so on, to be on their board, so that they also contribute for in the running of the temple. They want to take inputs. And so, it develops, grooms them, their personality very well. They become better mothers, they become better wives, and in society also to be more, because it softens you and takes away whatever, because practically you have to apply and deal when you interact with people. That is when your rough edges are smoothened out. You may be fanatic in your views and all that, but it doesn't work. When you deal with people, that is when you develop, or you have to you have to develop humility. You have to give up your false ego. Otherwise, you can't influence people. And this is part of the, it's like, it's like getting, because women don't have the opportunity to stay in the temple like brahmacharis, and then there is somebody even senior all the time looking after them and making sure that they progress and guiding them, correcting them. All these things are not available to women. And if you have ashrams for ladies, not many people will come and stay there, right? But through the Bhakti Vriksha program, how many ladies are getting all the training, all the skills? They are able to do so many things. They become better even in their jobs. They are able to multitask. Their children, they give equal importance to children also. They take care of their studies, and then in the home they cook, and they serve their husbands, everything, family and their in-laws, everything they take care, besides doing this valuable service of preaching, which is what Prabhupada wanted, right? Prabhupada said that ladies must do some preaching. He used to, like Kirtanananda Swami, he had brought all the ladies to the farm, and he said that, now all of you, be here protected and do farming. And when Prabhupada came to know that, he got very upset. Why those book distributors have been brought and put in the farm? They should go and preach. Or if ladies, when they had small children and they couldn't, contribute much, he said, no, they should collectively, one Mataji can volunteer to take care of all the children, so that the other Matajis can go for book distribution or other things. So Prabhupada wanted. It is not that he only said, okay, now you're a housewife or your mother, then you concentrate on that. He wanted us to combine all these activities of preaching. Everybody has to preach. That was Prabhupada's mission. I don't know, because that's what I got in every page of Srila Prabhupada's books, that everybody has to preach. And also my Guru Maharaj fortified that, because he was always into that, and he was expressing a lot of happiness. If somebody brought a new person to him and he said, I trained them and now they're chanting so many rounds and they're progressing and they want to commit more, and he was so happy. He would give time. So that was the thing. And when you preach, the whole, it becomes, that helps you to transform yourself. So many ideas, misconceptions you have also. It helps you to grow as a person for women. And I've seen attitudes of men changing, young people and older people, in the Bhakti Vriksha program, because what happens is, I've seen young boys who were very disturbed. Before we started the Bhakti Vriksha, they would always say, oh, I'm very disturbed. They would tell my husband, every day almost in the Bhagavatam class, they would say, we are very disturbed by Maya, some girl or how to overcome that and so on. And the minute we started the Bhakti Vriksha program, and they were actually actively preaching to the other gender, to girls, even young girls, and they were not at all disturbed. This is the amazing thing that happens. And because women are also preaching, and they can see the potential of women, they're not just simply objects to be just ogled at and, lusted at, but they are people with their real personalities come out. How much they're doing for Krishna consciousness, what is their inner, their thoughts and feelings are brought out in the open. Then they start appreciating Matajis. And, there is, seva also sometimes together, but of course they maintain their distance and etiquettes and all are followed. But there is no such, wrong kind of attitudes or feelings between the genders. Even young people, youth, they don't feel agitated and all that. They see Matajis with a lot of respect. Young boys and girls in our youth program, even I used to wonder, I wish we should have young men separately and young women separately. But what used to happen is weekends are the only time they are coming to get, all people are coming generally nowadays only weekends. And in the weekends, women also come at the same time as the boys. And then what do? You can't say go away now only for men. So we were having both, but then a very healthy, this thing because of preaching. Everybody is focused on preaching. And then you go above the bodily concept. And many times in Russia, for example, there were young Matajis conducting Bhakti Vrikshas for young boys and girls. And I was really scared because many people were also commenting. And Russian society, you're quite free, right? Boys and girls mixing. I thought, and many people were predicting, see, you're going to have many scandals and all. And not a single scandal happened. Because the mood changes. That is how purifying preaching is. And if husbands and wives preach together, then there is a healthy relationship, something you do along with the husband. Otherwise, normally Prabhus do their own services, Matajis do their own services. There is not much of, interaction in terms of, discussions about your service and inputs and so many things you do together, and it is 200%, because it's not that, okay, my Prabhu does and I will simply do seva in the house. That may be a Vedic thing. But in today's modern society, where out of necessity or because of out of education, they've already been trained and they want to work, you can't stop, unless they decide on their own. But doing Bhakti Vriksha automatically makes them prioritize preaching, family, and then they lose interest in their career unless they really require it for financial purposes. So, in this way, what happens is there is, they are able to become like all the Vedic principles naturally develop in women. Because they are, they're trained. Even they were not like that. Initially you don't have to tell them stop this or stop that or prioritize and balance. Balancing happens because there's a full support system to help them. Someone to listen to their problems and to give so many, suggestions and practical help that really women bloom so much. And the wonderful understanding, because before we started the Bhakti Vriksha program, when we used to have a lot of queries about grihastha problems, husband and wife not getting along, what to do, and we had to have long counseling sessions and all. But believe me, after we started the Bhakti Vriksha program, in both husband and wife together, they would preach and all that, there were no more problems coming. Only something which is maybe there here and there, but then that used to be easily solved. So it is really a revolution in the evolution of women, in their spiritual practices, in women, in their self-realization, in their being very serious. And Prabhupada said women should not think they are women, but they should think that I'm a soul, spirit soul. He said, if you keep thinking I'm woman, then how will you progress? That opens up so many doors for spiritual services. And as you asked, leadership, training, for everything.
Absolutely right here, Mataji. I would just add here, before leaving this planet, I was just talking to Guru Maharaj few days back, like in March, maybe it was. And I said, because some of our God brothers, some of the temple presidents, they are male, and they are male chauvinists. So Guru Maharaj said, are they inviting you for the Sunday feast lectures? Are they inviting you? I said, some of them and some of them, they don't. He said, they're all scared of you. They're all scared. And he was laughing. And I said, it's okay, Guru Maharaj. It's fine with me. Then he said, it's okay. They haven't told me, but I've sensed that they're scared of you. So you see, when women go out, when they are committed, and as Mataji said, my husband fully supports. He is with me. We both left our businesses 25 years back and giving only service to ISKCON since that time. And he builds a temple. So it's all his time, all his energy, all his love he gives. It's just serving Prabhupada movement, serving our Guru Maharaj, and it's all that. So, and we have equal love for all the God brothers of Guru Maharaj, everybody has visited our home, like including Jayapataka Maharaj, Bhaktichar Maharaj, not Radha Maharaj, Radha Govind Maharaj. Then we have others, Bhakti Maharaj Maharaj, Loknath Maharaj. So all like, we had love from everybody. So for us, it is, everybody is the same, like our Guru Maharaj, like Prabhupada coming to us. So it has been like that. We have given wholly and solely to ISKCON. And as he supports with me, he's always there with me. And I travel all alone. Whether I go to Pakistan, whether I go anywhere in the world to preach, I travel alone since the day one. So Guru Maharaj said that you can travel alone. You don't need anybody along with you. And he always said, I would go live on transit if I'm there. So my morning program, 5 a.m. program has to start. And sometime I was transiting from Tokyo. And I said, Guru Maharaj, he said, how do you manage it? I said, Maharaj, if I'm in transit, I start the program from there only, from the airport itself. And later I put a duty for someone to start it. But he said, you are a high-tech lady. I said, yes, you are mercy, Guru Maharaj. So you see, if there is a will, there is a way. If you want to please Guru Maharaj, you want to please Srila Prabhupada, then there is not the question of gender, as Prema Padmini Mataji said. There is no question for gender. You are all above it. I've trained them so in my group even. They take Zoom sessions. As Mataji said, you train them. And yet they are connected to you also. They have to listen to you. They cannot go out of the shelter of the Guru Parampara that has been coming to them. So, but at the same time, they're holding their own Zoom sessions, personal Zoom sessions. So likewise, Guru Maharaj said, you have to expand your family. Your family has to expand. So that is, the concept is this devotional family has to expand. And that's what I'm training them. And they come back to me with another group of 30, 40 people they are preaching. So likewise, and now we are going to have the further group, their group preaching to other groups, making bigger the groups. So that is how the Krishna consciousness movement is expanding. So I just intervened before Punya Murti Mataji could say something, because I could not keep myself with agreeing to what Mataji is saying, Prema Padmini Mataji. She was absolutely right. Of course, we have to expand like that, not stand.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
And just leave them to swim. We have to keep that umbilical cord that is coming to us, be attached to them. So further it has to go. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. I could see so many things from the answer that you have given me. It's like, reading Srila Prabhupada books in a systematically orderly way really brings up and builds up a stronger foundation on which you can build in a castle and then, expand. Because if your chains are not stronger from the base, you cannot be expanding so much as, both of you have explained just now. So that is one point I want to reinstate. So, and, we are running a little short of time. So I would quickly ask a short question, and I want all of you to answer on that. Your final thoughts or insights that you would like to share about the transformative power of Srila Prabhupada, just in 2-3 lines. So I will start with Amrita Madhavi Devi Dasi Mataji. So 2-3 lines, Mataji, for transformative power of Srila Prabhupada Books.
Yes, actually, Srila Prabhupada Books, they help all the men who read it, all the women who read it, to become Gopi Padakamalayor Dasa Dasano Dasao. Means they forget who they are and they become the servant of the foot dust of the gopis, servant of servant, that attitude. With that attitude, when they develop relationship with Krishna and when they start doing it for Guru and Krishna, then there is all socially sweet relationships and there is so much of clear consciousness. Then they are empowered to take right decisions. Their life becomes beautiful, and seeing their life, the others get inspired to learn from them, and their life also transforms, especially the family transforms and the others also transform.
Her net is hanged.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, her net is hanged.
Okay, Mataji, you can then continue till we have her back. With the same question, transformative potential of Srila Prabhupada Books, your insights and thoughts. Radhika Mataji.
Okay. So you see, as I said just now, it actually works as an umbilical cord, We get connected through all the scriptures. Actually Prabhupada said, When I'm gone, the Vani would work, not the Vapu. So Vani is very important. The books is the Vani, the instructions, they are in the purpose. So we have to go deep into it to get the instructions out. So once we are into the instructions, that is how our lives have changed. And others look up to us when we preach to them. So we are the examples, we have to remain like that, reading deeply. We cannot say that, oh, I've read it and now I know it. It can never be done. Realization is at every point you read the books again and again, the new realizations come, and you share with the big family you have now, and then they share with the extended families. So likewise, we are expanding. So that transformation has come up in me over the years, my own. That can be, actually, that is, the evaluation is done by the people around you. They evaluate you, that how your transformation was. We don't understand. But then when they give you compliment about it, yes, really, this has Krishna consciousness is a magic. When they actually evaluate that and they say that, then it is really that you feel that you have achieved what you wanted. And then they get attracted to it simultaneously. So because that is happening, and this transformation will go on as we go into the Vani of Prabhupada. The Vani is very important. Vapu is important, but the Vani is extremely important. And it's Brihad Mridanga, as Prabhupada said. So it goes into all the corners. When we distribute books, and there were people who said from US that we want a Bhagavatam from India. I said, you can get it cheaper there. Why you want from India? And they said, no, we want it from here. We got connected with you. So we have faith in you that you send us the Bhagavatam from here. So you see, that's all a connectivity, how the connection comes. And this has been due to the books, because books are the basis. So utility is the principle. We have to utilize them, put them into practice. That is important. If we just theoretically read, nothing will happen. As Mataji said, Prema Padmini Mataji, that practice is important. So we are focusing on practicing it. And so the people, they understand it. And preaching is the essence. That is most important. Preaching is giving them, and it's not teaching, it is preaching. That means first you practice and then you teach. So practicing is equally very, very important. So that is what
one has to lead by example, Mataji. That's what the message I'm giving. Because only talking will not help. You have to really work yourself and then get other to work and adapt it.
Yes.
Thank you. Prema Padmini Mataji, your thoughts, your reflections on this?
Transformation by reading Srila Prabhupada's books happens in stages, because there is the first level of transformation, and then you read the same thing after some time. You get a deeper understanding, and it makes you transformed at a deeper level, and you understand the same thing. Oh, I didn't understand it like this earlier, you feel. And your faith in Krishna goes deeper and deeper. Then you begin to understand that Krishna truly exists. He is a person. And the knowledge behind why I must have complete faith in Krishna, that keeps on. That is the greatest benefit of reading Srila Prabhupada's books, that Krishna becomes more and more a reality. And that we have to surrender to him completely. But, we may want to surrender, but the Prabhupada's, no other person I've heard so far, other than, our parampara, beyond Prabhupada, are able to catch that essence of how Krishna is a person, and he is all the time with us, and we just need to depend upon him alone. That is the essence. Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness is so simple that you miss it. And also his one quote, which I really like very much, is somebody asked Prabhupada, how long will it take to become a pure devotee, Prabhupada? And he was so compassionate. And then he said, one moment, the minute you understand Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am a servant and my duty is to give pleasure to him. If you know that, if you come to terms with that, that's it. You will become, so he was making it everything, and especially Prabhupada books along with his lectures. Fantastic. His lectures are even more practical and very, very direct and down to earth, and pierces through the heart and makes us understand that I'm not this body. Why I'm so attached to this body and mind. And every day we try to get over that conditioning. of this attachment even to the mind, and wanting the desire for pure devotional service is one thing Prabhupada hammers through in every page. He says you have to do pure devotional service, no mixed devotional service, no karma kanda. And it has to be for Krishna alone. You keep hearing in the beginning, it's okay, just something theory we don't understand. And every time we keep on reading, then we realize how much more to go to come to that level which Prabhupada is talking about, that simply we do only for the pleasure of Krishna, and Krishna is a person. Everything is working under his instruction. This whole material world is functioning. Even materially, we see Krishna everywhere by reading Prabhupada's books. At least when you're reading, and then you try to apply it, something happens and you get upset. No, Krishna is controlling. So that thing of accepting Krishna as a person in our day-to-day life at every moment, we can improve in that transformation from a materialist who can only see gross things and things, I'm the doer, I'm the controller, I'm the enjoyer. From that, becoming a servant, wanting to please Guru and Gauranga and not having any material desires for even satisfy our mind. That comes only in Prabhupada's books. In every page, he is telling us about pure devotional service. And so that is why that is the message. He is not talking to any particular gender. He is talking to all, both male and female. And sometimes he is a little harsh, of course, about, remarking about women. Sometimes I've cried to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I love you, but why you're talking like this about women? But now I've understood that actually it is generalizations which he's talking, too generalized. When he says women are less intelligent, women are 9 times less lusty, or women cannot be trusted, they have selfish or very selfish, and such things come through. And then I realized that actually these are general statements. Women also have varnashrama, by the way. There are brahmanas, kshatriyas, vaishyas, shudras among women also. And in Bhagavatam only, Prabhupada has written about, Dhruva, his 2, mother and stepmother. Okay. There are 2 ladies. One is out and out materialist, that is Suruchi, right? And she was very selfish, and she was influencing her husband to give the kingdom to her son. And there is Suniti, who's an angel, who's a saint, and who told her son, just go to Krishna, don't try to retaliate and all that, don't try to harm people, it'll just come back to you, don't have any bad feelings towards your father or stepmother, just go to the forest and go to Krishna. So how can you generalize and say all women are like this, they are bad, or they are less intelligent? We have Devahuti, who's a yogini, and she's a princess, but she married Kardama Muni, and she was so renounced. So she is very intelligent that Kapila Dev, her son, spoke Sankhya Yoga first to her before the whole world. So is she less intelligent? No. And we can draw comfort from the fact that women may be considered less intelligent earlier because they were not educated. What education did they receive materially or even spiritually? They were said, you just simply take care of the house, serve your husband, 50% of his spiritual thing will come to you. Now, what can you expect from such a position? You don't educate them. And we are seeing the results of education in today's world, how women materially also, Prabhupada was impressed even with the material skills of women. He went, and for giving Gayatri mantra, first he was not planning to give, he only called the men, and it was with thanks to Jadurani Mataji, who was feeling very upset why we are not given. And she refused to go. She was mourning in her house. She didn't go there. And Prabhupada asked, where is she? And he called, and then he gave her also. And in that Prabhupada is saying, because here I see women are all very, they're driving cars, they're very independent and they're very intelligent. So he thought that women can do. So it's not like an absolute thing that Prabhupada was talking about. He was just on because in India at that time, maybe because of Muslim rule and all that, women hardly went out and they had to cover themselves because those men might gaze at them. All these things are something time, place, and circumstance. It's not absolute reality. I mean, it's not that always it will be like that. And so, and in the Shastra only, we see such exalted women. And with education, we are seeing how women, by chanting Hare Krishna mantra and by reading Prabhupada's books, Matajis are coming out in flying colors. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tried to first bring all caste system. He wanted to go beyond caste and say everybody can become a Brahmana and become transcendental. And there was a reaction from society. The Brahmanas especially revolted. And now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this gender equality to Prabhupada, and he only brought in all these things. Nobody before him gave Gayatri mantra to Matajis, made them pujaris, and and so on. So we can see that this is the transformation that is happening because of Prabhupada's books, and I'm sure women will be accepted very soon, and all these, whatever apprehensions they have and so on will cease to exist. And I also recommend that somehow if we can bring about some journal in which Mataji's realizations and writings are shared, then Prabhus can read it and can understand what goes on behind women's face inside. Then they will have better appreciation, acceptance into this family of ISKCON. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for your wonderful insights and, a suggestion also. I'll really take it forward. So on behalf of ISKCON Ministry of Education, I really thank you, all of you, to join us today and really, share your wonderful insights and experiences and special insights on, the role of women in the society, in the family, and, if one person or one female becomes a devotee in the family, how it influences people at large. So I think this this discussion is really going to benefit all of us, and then to the masses also, who will be listening to the wonderful thought sharing by all of you today. So I really thank you, all of you, once again for being with us today. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you also, Mataji. You've been a fantastic anchor, and being patiently, allowing all of us to express our views, and very encouraging and very insightful. So we thank you also for your wonderful service.
Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Radhika Priya. Nice meeting you, and Amrita Madhavi.
Same here, Mataji. Nice meeting you. I hope to see you someday again soon. Physically, we will meet again.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.